Happy Monday to you. Coming at you with another service feature from the real estate and technology sector. Hey, I'm Nate Smoyer. For those of you who don't know, from Real Team Panda, we are an ad agency that help people scale their growth through tactical digital advertising. I want to get right into it. Recently, I had the privilege of talking with Chuck, one of the co-founders of Onerent, and I got to tell you, I think Onerent is a fantastic product. So for those of you who really don't know or have never heard of it, let's jump right in. So Onerent, let's just jump right to the first thing that they tell you here, because this kind of sets up the stage. Rent smarter, live easy. A new long-term rental experience you can trust. So one thing I really like about Onerent right off the bat is actually just really like the design and clean layout of their site. And this kind of sets the stage and tone, I think, for what you can expect from their product itself, is that they've really taken time to think through it. So they have a two-sided marketplace here. They're actually serving both the property owner, and you can see it here, right? Market your rental, show your home on demand, high-quality renters, and they'll take care of your maintenance, even with a 24/7 support team. But then they have the other side of the marketplace here, right? They're actually actively looking to build relationships with renters, which, if you're like me and if you've had to be dealing with some property management companies as of late, you may have found that they don't really care to have a relationship with you. All they care is if you're going to put in the application and take the unit. And that's what a majority of my experiences have been like. So here they'll actually view listings and book showings with you. They'll actually walk the renter through the application and apply. They help you with the move-in, making sure that everything is inspected and cleaned. Onerent takes care of that, making sure that the place is inspected and cleaned. So that is good to know right off the bat. And the 24/7 maintenance and support. As a renter, if you're going to be moving into a place, you want to know that they have what's necessary to take care of if something breaks. Let's jump into the property owner side of the business here. So far already, they have over 2,000 units leased and managed. They're in 63 different cities, which that's a massive reach. And they're doing about 150 to 160 new leases signed every 60 days. That they are moving fast. And look at this, 650 showings a month. So these are some stats where you can see right off the jump that they are proactively marketing properties in every market they're in to make sure that they're actually getting them occupied. And so this is the side where they appeal to the property owner. On the renter side, they have built out a marketplace. And one thing right off the bat is you can see the if you work on the scale here, right, it automatically jumps up to about 1,500. And I like the fact that Onerent has gone a little bit upstream in quality of properties. So I don't think you're going to find Onerent working in C grade or even B minus grade neighborhoods based on the rent prices. Now, I suppose if this is 1,600 in downtown San Francisco, that's probably not possible. So if you do see that, there might be something off. But it looks like they're sticking with the B plus and A minus, A plus neighborhoods, so that you're getting in some good places. I mean, even still, look at this place here, right? It looks like granite countertop. We got stainless steel hood over the range, stainless steel fridge. So these are some nice units. I was taking a look through here of different places that you can rent from them. Now, let's jump into the services here, because this is really where it's going to make or break things, right? It's nice that you have this website and this fancy design, but what do you really actually do for the customer? So from the perspective of, for the property owner, they'll take care of the property walkthrough, right? It's on demand. So Saturday, you need somebody, boom. Onerent is the connection point to making that happen. They take care of photos. This is such an important piece that property management companies fail all the time on. And I see it. They'll post up 4 or 5 photos, and Craigslist will give you like 16 or something like that. I mean, you might as well do it. Zillow, I think you could post like 25, 26, depending on your market. You can do more or less along with a video walkthrough. So the fact that they're going to be actually making sure that they're professionally edited photos is a big deal. And then leasing the property, right? So they make sure that you do this. Okay, it's going to start getting excited here, right? So all the things we already talked about, tenant screening, this is probably the biggest deal when it comes to getting good tenants. You got to get good tenants up front. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for problems. They do the cleaning, inspecting, making sure everything is good to go. Okay, and here's what I like, right? Automated online rent payment. I don't want to be going and asking for checks, and I don't want to be cashing checks, and I don't want you to send me money orders and all that. Automatically online, which helps with the expense and income tracking. And then ongoing management, the maintenance, annual inspections, And then check this out. Rent guarantee. I don't know anyone who does this. Receive your rent payout by the third business day of each month, guaranteed. Okay. Along that, de-risk evictions with $15,000 in coverage when rent qualified tenants. Okay, so you have to have a qualified tenant, and they're going to be helping cover up to $15,000 with if you have to go through an eviction. So they're doing the due diligence up front. So they're saying, we have so much confidence in the quality of tenants we're going to bring you. Here's what we're willing to do. Okay, let's look at the pricing. This has got to be expensive. All right, so we're looking at the pricing here. All right, no long-term contracts. So for those of you who are locked into a long-term contract with your property management company, I'm sorry. Guaranteed rent, and you get the eviction coverage. All right, let's see how this pans out. So let's say your rental is $2,500 a month. So actually, I'm going to move it to 26 because I'm a little selfish and want to see what it's going to be for my rental. Okay, so here we go. Competitors, I've seen this 50 to 100%. Very rarely do I see it not be anything, but 50 to 100% easily on the first months, and they're going to take 40%. Markup on repairs, 10%. This is actually one of those metrics I don't see often talked about on the front side with property management companies. And since I manage my own long distance, I've not interviewed any companies on this, but I'm sure it's baked in there. They do it at 0. So you're going to get straight cost for cost. Monthly management fee, 8%. 8% is a good rate. I've seen as low as 6 and as high as 12. It all depends on what you're doing, where you're at. You know, the lower in price you go, probably the higher in percentage you're going to go. And they're going to do it at 5% of rent. So the annual cost for someone taking care of all my headaches, like my water heater that blew out a few months ago, $2,450 a month or $2,450 a year. That's almost half the cost of, or less than half the cost of traditional management there. And you can choose between just leasing only, which has a different pricing structure, or you get the full service management. Now, this is something I wanted to focus on because if you remember on the front page, right, there was this little call, Introducing Poplar by Onerent. Check this out. They're actually willing to help you buy your next home. Okay, so if you want 20% of your rent back to help go buy a home, you join the wait list here at poplarstreet.com. And then they've got this really cool calculator to find out what you might be saving. So I plugged in some numbers here, and I'll just burn through it here, but you just find out, and that starts the process, right? And you plug in whatever you pay for rent. If you're currently saving, you know how much you're saving, you know your income. Then they'll go through, take your first steps here, and then you can. This is a dynamic calculator, so if you want to throw in different prices on everything, you can start seeing what it would take to be able to save up for your monthly, or what it would take, like how long it would take for you to save up for your dream home. And so it's pretty cool. I think this is a really great affordability calculator that shows you your advantage of either working with them, or even if you wanted to work by yourself, hey, it'll take me 2.5 years at everything that I'm doing right now to be able to save for a 10% down payment on a $300,000 house. So, hey, that is Onerent and their product Poplar Street. If you have any questions, I'm going to tag Chuck, one of the co-founders, head of marketing, in the comments below. I'm also going to share one of their YouTube videos in the comments below, as well as you'll see the link for Onerent. If you learned anything from this, I do appreciate the likes, comments, and shares. Make sure you get this in front of other people. And if you know of anyone who's got a property that, hey, maybe, or you have a property that you might want to review the property management and how you're handling that, just tag them in the comments below, because I think this is one of those things where it would not hurt anybody if you have a rental property to take a look at Onerent and see how this might be able to save you some money on your rental management. All right, everybody, have a great week. Sorry this took so long, and we'll be back next week with another one. Thanks.